everyone. Thank you for joining me in today's edition of 35 Testimonies to commemorate Mountain of Fire Miracle Ministries at 35. My name is Asma'u, Rebecca Asma'u Beki, and I'm here to share with you another awesome testimony. I pray you'll be blessed as you listen in the name of Jesus. Today's testimony will excite you. It's an amazing testimony titled The Vanished Frog. The Vanished Frog. Madam Grace Omolara Omoli relaxed on one of the single cushion chairs in the second sitting room located at the topmost floor of her magnificent triplex building, one of the new buildings she has purchased in the sprawling estate in Lagos State. She had just washed her hands in readiness to do justice to the sumptuous meal of pounded yam and egusi soup placed before her on a coffee table by Lazarus, her cook. She preferred to eat alone with less distraction rather than sitting to eat with her daughters in the sitting room downstairs, who preferred to watch television and converse while they ate. As a retired nurse who just returned to Nigeria, having worked for close to 30 years in the United Kingdom, she didn't joke with her Nigerian delicacies. She had taken time to judiciously interview the candidates who applied to be her cook before she settled for Lazarus. His duties, among others, was to always ensure that her daily lunch must be one delicious Nigerian meal such as amala with the accompanying gbegiri and ewedu soup, semovita and ogbono soup, or her favorite pounded yam that often goes with egusi or vegetable soup. She had taken the first morsel of the fluffy pounded yam, wrapped it in the rich egusi soup, and accompanied it with a piece of a succulent stockfish from the soup before throwing it into her mouth. She muttered. It tastes delicious, just the way I like it. She was about taking the second morsel when a bizarre thing happened. She saw a big live frog balanced on the top of her steaming hot egusi soup. What? She exclaimed. Before thinking twice, Madam Omolara took the plate of the pounded yam mound and covered up the frog that was in the soup. Then she went ahead to press the plate of the pounded yam firmly on the frog with the belief that the frog will burst and die. After spending about 5 minutes pressing the pounded yam into the frog, Madam Omolara was convinced that the frog will definitely be dead. Only then did she uncover the food. To her amazement, much as she searched and searched the food bowls, there was no trace of any frog, dead or alive. Mother, are you sure there was a frog, or was it a figment of your imagination? Betty, her 20-year-old daughter, asked, after she narrated what happened to her. Of course not, Madam Omolara snapped. The frog was right there on top of the pieces of meat in the soup. I saw it with my 2 naked eyes. I believe you, Mother, but it's no longer there. What are we going to do about it, Mother? The young lady asked, with a voice laden with concern. Nothing, she replied in a non-committal manner. Ask Lazarus to come and clear this table, and please make me some sandwiches, she told her daughter. But Mother, you should be bothered about the whereabouts of the frog. Why will I want to bother myself about that? She asked indifferently. It appeared for a moment, and after a while it disappeared. Life continues. Life indeed continued, but not as Madam Omolara envisaged, because that very evening her right hand and right leg began to get heavier and heavier, igniting an excruciating pain for her, and eventually she became paralyzed. Incidentally, the frog had disappeared and entered into her body and was seriously afflicting her. Her daughters began to take her from one hospital to another, from one place to another. For one whole year, they went from one hospital to another and carried all kinds of tests on her, but the doctors could not define what the ailment was all about, not to talk of the medicine for its cure. They only prescribed drugs for her on trial and error basis, If one drug failed to bring the desired result, the doctors administered another one on her. Madam Omolara was drained in pains and in sad. One day, her daughter heard about the Mountain of Fire Miracle Ministries from one of her classmates in Unilag, and she excitedly went to inform her mother about the church. She was immediately taken to the church in her wheelchair. The general overseer educated her about salvation, healing, and deliverance. He informed her there were some wicked forces that had taken the wicked decision to stop her advancement in life, but she must stop them. How am I ever going to be able to stop them? She asked. I know you go to Orthodox church and you do not know how to pray our kind of prayers. Yet you must learn. Go and pray this prayer point for the next 30 minutes. Every arrow of the wicked, go back to the sender. Every arrow of the wicked, go back to the sender. Every arrow of the wicked, go back to the sender. After half an hour of saying the same thing, she shouted, I can move my hand. I can move my leg. That was how she walked out of the wheelchair and went home, hale and hearty. Immediately she went home, she sat for a while. One of her distant relatives paid her a visit. How come you are walking? She asked Madam Omolara in unfeigned amazement. Oh, I see, Madam Omolara replied, astonished. So you are that frog. So that frog is from you. Anyway, it has gone back to the sender. Before long, that relative's 4 limbs, that's her 2 hands and her 2 legs, became paralyzed, and within 3 days, she was dead. Madam Omolara was free. This life. This testimony is called from the message by the General Overseer of Mountain of Fire Miracle Ministries, Professor Daniel Kolawole Olukoya, which he preached on Wednesday, March 20th, 2024 during the Manna Water service, and the title of the message is Stop Them Before They Stop You. We hope you have enjoyed today's testimony. We do hope that you will join us in another edition of the testimony. Thank you so much and have a pleasant day. Goodbye.